Okay, so if you have that up, I'm going to just ask you a few questions, all right? And I want to know, skim through the reading if you need to. Someone tell me what a nuclear family is. A father and brother marry and have children. Yes, yes, yes. And so to go further, this is a nuclear family. A nuclear family is a small family group that usually includes parents and their children living together in the same home. Okay, so that's something that we all have. Now, a mother, a father, their two kids, they live in one house. That's normally a nuclear family, but it can also be one parent, one child. That's also a nuclear family. Okay. Um, but the key idea of it is it's still a small group with the same household, with the people doing the same daily interactions every day. Okay. Now, what about an extended family? Someone tell me what an extended family is. A family with relatives like grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Yes, very good. Good. An extended family is a larger family that goes beyond parents and children. It includes relatives like grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and sometimes they all live together or they stay very close to each other. So, for example, if you live with your grandmother or your cousins and they live down the street, you see them every day. That's basically an extended family. That's the type of family I come from. And you all being in Texas, is that something similar to what you come from, to where you live very close to all of your family members? Is that something that you all do? Stacy says yes. What about you, Peyton? Over Texas. Okay, okay. But do you have family that's very close to you as well, that lives near you in the city that you live in? You don't get to see family much? Okay, yeah. Me too, but for me, it's more like I choose because I like being in Mexico a little more right now. But yes, basically, when you think about an extended family, just think bigger support system, not just one household. Okay. And now let's talk about family of orientation. Your family of orientation is the family you are born into or raised by. Okay. So these are the people who taught you, your first values, your rules, your language, and behavior. And that's something that we talked about earlier. So I want to ask you both, who's in your family orientation that you would say? Peyton and Stacy. Okay, Peyton says his older sister. Good. Parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Nice. Good. See, that's awesome. I live. That's good. That's really good. I'm like that in my home. Back in my hometown, I live very near most of my relatives too. So when I go home, I get to go at everyone's house and eat all of their snacks. I don't know if that's what you do, Stacy, but to me, that's the benefit. Separated all the time, but relationship is strong. Yep, that's good. But if you haven't, Stacy, make sure you take advantage of going to eat everybody's snacks. Okay. If you haven't, don't tell them that I taught you this, that you get a lifetime supply of the best snacks. Okay. You have. Good. Hey, Peyton, you too. Anytime. Oh, you have an older sister. Peyton, I have an older sister too. So I can tell you, you also have a lifetime supply of good snacks, because anytime your sister buys something, you can just go over there and just be like, it doesn't matter. You're my sister. I get to have this, or I get to tell on you. So yes, I tell you both, take advantage of your perks of being in a good family like this. She's chocolate, but you don't. Okay, so you got to figure out something that you like that she buys. You hate, don't say that. I hate my siblings. Oh man, come on now. You're the oldest? Oh no. See, I'm the baby in my family. So I get everything, and if not, I'll just be like, hey, you know what? I'll just tell mom, hey, we can finish this later. I'll just get everyone in trouble. Don't play with my food. All right. Now let's talk about family of procreation. Um, a family of procreation is a family you create in the future. For example, when you have a partner or children. Now, this can mean if you get married, if you decide to have children, or if you are building a household like that. You say, you know what, I'm going to build my house out to be like this. It might look similar to a current family, or it might look completely different, right? Sometimes people want to repeat something that they've experienced growing up. Like for example, Stacy grows up near her entire family, but as she gets older, she might want to grow up and have the same type of family dynamic because that is a very strong core to have because it's so much support that you can have as a family, right? And sometimes people want to change it. All right. So here's what I want to know from you is what kind of family of procreation do you want in the future? Peyton and Stacy, what do you want? Okay. I want a family dedicated to the same life Jesus would. I like that. That's very respectable. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Jesus, brother. I love Jesus. I personally want to have a big family as well and Christ centered. Good. I have this idea in my mind that one day I'm going to have these big. I don't know if you all remember the Christmas movies like Home Alone and all those funny movies, but if you watch all of those Christmas movies, there's always that big window and they have this big, huge Christmas tree. Like for me, that's what I dream of wearing the same clothes with my family and having that big Christmas tree on a snowy day. So I want that Home Alone, those Christmas movies. I want that. So that's the idea for me of what my family of procreation looks like. Goals. That's what I'm talking about. These are goals for sure. All right. So now I want us to look at this case study. This is from the reading. I pulled this from the reading so you all don't have to like bounce around too much. And this is what this is showing us is that family isn't just about who you live with, but it's about who teaches you, who supports you, and who helps shape your life, right? And as we go into this little case study right here, just think about how does family influence a person's behavior, their choices, or their future. As a matter of fact, I'll put this in the chat here just to make you just to think about that as you read this. It's just quick. It's a quick little reading. I'll give you some time to read this, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay. So if you click on the case study, I'll give you I'll give you 10 minutes. If you need more time, more than 10 minutes, just let me know. And but if you finish before that, also let me know, and then we can just continue. Okay. Let me know if you can click on the case study and if you can have it pulled up. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, please. Okay, cool. All right, 10 minutes starting now. And we back, y'all. Okay, so since everyone is finished, cool little case study. Someone tell me who is Gregory and what is Gregory's situation? Tell me. Give me in like 2 sentences or less, or how fast you can type, please. Tell me about Greg. Gregory is the child with parents getting a divorce. Good, 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 good. Now, let's talk about Gregory for a little bit. Like, think about what he went through with his family. Now, if he didn't get a divorce from his parents, and his life continued to be difficult, how might that have affected him as a person? What do you think about that? It could have negatively impacted him. Yes. How? Tell me more. In what ways could it have negatively impacted him? It would have mentally destroyed his mentality. Good, good. If it was from a young age, it may make him believe it's normal and rare for families to be united. Yes, yes. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, what kind of personality would he have developed? Would he be a confident person or would he be an insecure person? Would he be a trusting person or would he be very closed off? Your brain is still developing under the age of 25. Yeah, so there's so many things that we can actually think about. Like, how might he act as a person? Would he be a rule follower or would he be a rule breaker? Do you agree or do you disagree with Gregory's decision to leave his biological parents?
And if so, why?
Agree and disagree. Tell me more or tell me more. I'm not sure if it's a good thing for him to leave. Okay, tell me more. I want you all to expound on that. Go a little deeper into that. You agree, Stacy? You agree and disagree, but tell me why. So think about this. What are some ways we can support children that are like Gregory? So you say you agree and you disagree. So Stacy, that might mean that there's room for offering some support that might change the outcome of a family leading to a child divorcing his parents. Okay. And Peyton, you say you're not sure if it's a good thing for him to leave. Okay, so let's go off that. If it's not a good thing for him to leave, if you're not sure, what ways would you offer to help him to where he wouldn't have to divorce his parents? Providing a listening heart and offering support for people like him. I like that because having a voice is extremely important, right? Everyone wants to be seen and heard and respected and loved. So, excellent point. What about you, Stacy? What do you think? Honestly, coming from a Hispanic household, his parents might be right because we have been raised in discipline. Yeah, yeah. That family structure is so important, and when you look at today, look at the times we live in now. Do we still have traditional families these days? I mean, it's difficult because now it's so many. We have a lot of families where there's only a one parent household. There's still some two parent households, but we have a large divorce rates. Divorce rates has skyrocketed over 50% in the last 30 years. Some are not just used to it, and it's horrible how you see children yelling at parents, hitting parents. Yeah, no, you need discipline. Yes, they do. See, and that's now. I mean, think about, I'm older than you all, so imagine what we had to go through. Our parents, there was no, if you strike your parent, everyone would look at you as if you saw a ghost and just start waving the white flag because that's the end of you. Okay. And so, no, I agree with Stacy. I do think that there should be discipline, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's always that way. But the good thing is the people in this room, as long as we are displaying discipline, we good. We can't change the world, but we can change who? Us. All right. So this is your job. You are an advisor. Who wants to take Group A? Stacy or Peyton? Who wants to take Group A? Peyton raise his hand first. So Peyton, you'll take Group A, and then I'll read Group A, and then let you know what you're going to do, and then Stacy, I'll give you Group B, and then what you're going to do, and I'll put you in groups to let you work along for a little bit, and then I'll bring you back and we'll discuss. Okay. These are sentence frames that I'm leaving for both of you that'll help you be able to articulate yourself. Let's look at B for you, Stacy. Remember, you're also an advisor. And basically, your situation is you have a student where both of the parents are at work all the time and they're trying to earn money because, of course, as we all know, life is extremely expensive and they don't have enough time to spend with the child. So the problem with that is the child now feels completely lonely and unsupported. Okay. There's no extended family that can help them. And also, the family doesn't have the money to be able to get a babysitter or something else. So they spend time alone. So, your solution that you have to solve is how can this family balance money and emotional support? What are some things that you might be able to find that you think can help them as the advisor? Okay. And that's your role. Now, your census frames to be able to help you articulate are here. Remember, everyone's job is what again? Your job is to be what? Yes, you two are now advisors. So now, if Mr. Hiron doesn't get the mics working by then don't worry. Just type out your answer. Okay. So I'm gonna put Peyton here, stays here, and then I'll give you time to really, I'll give you like 10 minutes just to kind of think of a lot of different ways. Think of it like a real situation, okay? And I'll give you 10 minutes and I'll send it. I'm going to put it in the chat for both of you right now for Group A and Group B, okay? And then that way you can see what you're doing. All right. There we go. All right, so we're back. And now we've had a chance to, do our due diligence as advisors. And now I'm curious to see what our handy dandy advisors came up with, starting with Advisor Burns. Sir, the child is struggling because he believes that he does not have anyone to rely on. A solution to this problem would be managing time with the student to tutor him and being there for him when he needs anything. The student would do better in school if he asks for guidance if needed, so that is so his grades stay up. And since he may not have anyone to rely on to, maybe being a role model for the student to censor good versus bad behavior and good versus wrong. This is exactly what an advisor should be doing, Peyton. And it sounds like, my brother, you might have some leadership qualities that we will need in the education force one day. So if you ever have the smallest inclination that you might want to be a teacher, just know that I'm telling you now, you have the pedigree. Okay. This is exactly what you need. I mean, when you think about it in school, teachers, advisors, counselors, these are people that you spend a lot of time with, just as not as maybe not as much as you do intimate time with like you do with your family, but you spend a lot of time at school. So it's very important when you are an advisor because the decisions that you make are going to help or hurt another human being. So thank you, Peyton. This was excellent, excellent, excellent. So now, what did you think about that, Stacy? She agreed. Now, let's talk about you, Advisor Delgado. Madam, what did we come up with? In the situation in which the child may be facing of the feeling of loneliness due to parents' absence is truly not fixable in my belief. Why, you may ask? Yes, because I do want to know why. You see, a parent's love and affection is like no other. Yes, there may be other, but no one's love is the same as a parent's. Very true. If there was something I would have to do to help that child, I would suggest creating a disciplined environment in which you separate a slight time. It could be very little, but at some time. Okay, at least some time. For example, my parents worked all day from 6 till 7 p.m. Wow, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. But in the afternoon, we get time together and take advantage of it. This is sadly a situation many go through and it hurts, but even just a bit of affection could go away. So they aren't alone, so they know. Oh my God. Hey, see, listen, I love students like this. This is why I like y'all so much because this is what we need. What makes me listen, this is one thing that I love about y'all is what makes me happy is it's not normal in this day and age to hear teenagers talk like this. Sometimes they just want to play, be funny, and crack funny jokes all the time. And y'all know those students. I'm sure you have friends that are like that too. You guys will know who I'm talking about. But I'm also happy that you all are actually thinking about ways that you can actually help people because one day you never know. You might see a friend as you get older. Stacy, you might say, you know what, maybe I might want to be a teacher. Maybe I want to be a doctor or a counselor or something that may lead me to doing these things. So I say that to say that you never know. You just never know where you'll end up and who you can offer advice to. So when we do things like this is a great opportunity for you to be an advisor and also just be in a leadership role. Now you all are actually devising strategies that could be a real thing one day. So just remember that. All right. Great job. I'm really surprised at the answers that you all are always writing. All right. So on our way out, think about this. What are differences that you notice between families in your culture and families in other culture? And I know like Stacy comes from a Hispanic background or a Latino background. So your culture might be different than the standard American culture. And I just would love to hear your thoughts on the way out as we in class about some differences that you might notice. Okay. So just write me your thoughts on that. And for the last 3 minutes, and ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of class. Thank you all for being here.